Good morning. Good morning. Good rainy morning from Scotland, from Borny, Scotland. I've been all over the place in the last couple of days. I was at a meeting in Newcastle yesterday, and then I picked my daughter up and we went up to see my mum in Longhorton in Northumberland. So Scotland to Newcastle, Newcastle to Northumberland. And then I went to see my best friend in Glanton in Northumberland. So I didn't get back till 9 o'clock last night. It's been hectic. So I'm just catching up this morning. And I'm really excited about doing this live today. So I'm actually live in my Creative Genius Corner group and on all the other platforms all at the same time right now. It's a productivity tool. And I wanted to talk to you today of why stories are so important. Morning, Michelle. So important to your business, to your brand, and to your sales. And I want to do that by debriefing from my talk at Entrepreneur City on Monday. I want to talk to you about how I'm preparing for Fox TV, why these things have been so important. And I also want to talk to you about storytelling in general. And I've got some props today. I have some props here today so I can actually demonstrate that. I popped a little post into my group and onto my personal page prior to this live. So you might not have seen that on the other platforms, but if you go to my personal page on Facebook, you'll be able to see that post. And that was an impact post, a post where I shared a comment from somebody who had watched me in Entrepreneur City and shared the statistics from Entrepreneur City, my talk at Entrepreneur City. If you missed that, you can still join Entrepreneur City. You can still get in the group and you can watch the speakers that have been in this week so far. I'm obviously one of them. Fraser Brooks was absolutely amazing. I've just watched that this morning after the dog walk, and I'm going to catch up on some of the other talks this week. So Entrepreneur City, click the link in my bio on my personal Facebook page. You'll find the link everywhere. It's on my link tree. It's everywhere. Anyway, let's get down to business. For those of you that don't know me or have only just met me, I am Mandy Nicholson. Yeah, I am the Creative Genius Consultant. I'm an artist, I'm an author, and I am a creative retreat owner. And I help creative women to launch, grow, and scale their businesses and make more money. We creatives are different, and it takes us sometimes a bit longer for things to make sense to us. We're not naturally left-brained and can't naturally put together all the systems and processes. We sometimes need quite a lot of guidance with that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you as a creative. It just means you've got to know how things work properly. You couldn't just wing it and throw it together. You've got to know how things work properly. And that's okay. So one of the things I want to say to you is that, this gig in Entrepreneur City came about because I worked with Michelle Stonhill as my coach. And when you invest in yourself, it opens doors to lots of different opportunities. I'm going to say that first. When you invest in a premium coach or a premium program, these people, and I'm one of them now, already know lots of doors that they can open for you, lots of things that they've already done, lots of information, lots of business tactics. You are likely to benefit in so many ways when you invest in yourself. So that's the first thing I'm going to put out there and say. That's how I have ended up speaking at Entrepreneur City on Monday, and I'm on Fox TV. So I'm talking to you about both of those today. The really exciting opportunities. I think 2,500 people saw my talk on Monday. And I have had so many messages and I have had so many comments to answer. It's been amazing. And all I did was go on there and share my story. And that's why I want to talk about why stories are so important to your business, to your brand, and to your sales line today. That's the objective of this live today, is to really just try and get you to think about how you are sharing your story. So I'm going to be talking about Fox TV later and how I'm prepping for it. But let's talk about stories, shall we? We all have in business something that we want to sell. But if you show up either in a post that's got graphics and copy, or a live, or a pre-recorded video, and you are selling, people are switching off. People don't like direct selling. People don't like being told that they need to buy things. It don't work like that anymore. People are quite savvy. And as I covered in my talk on Monday, and I talk about this a lot through all of my social media channels, people need to see you 33 times now before they trust you enough to make a purchase from you. That's the average person. Some people buy quicker. Some people will never buy. Some people will need longer than that because there's so much mistrust in what's being put onto our newsfeed at the minute. So your job is to get people to like you, like what you do, to trust you, and to then want to invest in what it is you do. So I brought 3 props today, specifically for you creatives. I brought 3 props today, and I want to talk about, if you have any of these, how you go about weaving your story through. So I'm going to start with 3 things. Now, I could show up and go, this is my book, The Life I Won. It's available on Amazon. Go and buy it now. The link's in the comments. That's what I could say if I showed up on a live. Or I can show up and say, hey guys, I want to talk to you today about this. It's my book, The Life I Won. I've written it under the pen name AJ King. That's in tribute to my dad, who I lost to cancer during the events that happened that I've written about in this book. So this book tells my story. It's an inspiring story of what really happens when you lose everything and what really matters. So in 2009, I had a series of unfortunate events that resulted in me going from having everything and a 6-figure salary to having nothing and losing it all, and ended up in a council house with no money, on my own as a single mom, bankrupt. Can you see where I'm going with this? I'm no longer saying this is my book, The Life I Won. I'm giving you the synopsis of the story. I'm engaging you in the synopsis of the story. So if you're an author, this is really important. People don't want you to waft your book and sell it. They want to know, what's the book about? What's the person about? What's the author about? They can then make a buying decision. And what I would do is probably spend 10 minutes talking about the story. And then I'd say, look, guys, if you want to listen to the first 2 chapters, the link is in the comments, either above or to the side of this live. And it is, if you want to listen to the first 2 chapters of me reading this book, sitting in 2 of my retreat rooms whilst reading it on video for you, then click the link and you'll get the first 2 chapters. And I'm going to guarantee that you're going to love it. Yeah, that is selling without selling. That's telling a story. And I know some of you may already know this, but I wanted to cover creative products here and how is the best way for you to be able to get people to go and buy your products. So next up, I'm just going to take this off the wall, by the way. So I've got a lot of artists in my... So here we go. I wanted to show you this today, guys. So I could come up and say, this is a painting by me. It's £300. If you want to buy it, go to my website. You can also get prints of it. That's how much it is. Right, next thing. And I see a lot of people doing this about art, with their art, they might put a photograph of it with a price on. Well, there's a story to every painting, and I want to tell you the story. Whenever I'm talking about my work, I want to tell you a story. Hi, Amanda. I've just noticed you drop on there. I can't see all of your comments on StreamYard. So first of all, I've got to find the camera. So this particular painting, I want to talk to you. I'm going to give you a non-sales storytelling overview of this painting so you can understand where I'm coming from. So guys, I want to talk to you today about this painting. It's acrylic on canvas framed. And I want you to close your eyes almost and feel what this painting is all about. I visited Culloden Moor in Inverness, where the battle between the English and the Scottish happened, where so much blood was shed, where the Scots were defeated and the death count was so high. And it's a place of morbid curiosity almost, where people go to understand this battle. So I went to Culloden Moor with the objective of finding the beauty. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to find the beauty in a place of so much bloodshed. So I went with my kids just after my husband had died, actually. It was about 4 months after Gary had died when we had that little break in lockdown where they let us out. So I booked a holiday cottage, and up to Inverness we went to Culloden Moor. And I took loads of photographs of the beauty of Culloden Moor. And I painted, this is one of 3 pieces that I painted. You can see them all on my website. This is the first one of the 3 pieces that I painted. And honestly, you can't really get a feel for the beauty of it unless you see it in real life. This is the heather that was blowing from side to side, making a beautiful violet carpet on Culloden Moor. It was almost like it was trying to cover up the bloodshed and the history that had been there hundreds of years earlier. And I wanted to capture that. So I took lots and lots of photographs, and I did 3 paintings. One of the heather, one of the rose bay willow herb, the pink flowers that were punching through the green everywhere on Culloden Moor, and one of the dark places, the shrubs with the tiny little white flowers and thistles in. And capturing the beauty of such a historic place was such a gift for me as an artist, and for me to be able to pay forward to other people to enjoy. So that's what I wanted to show this to you today. That's the story behind this piece. So remember, today I'm demonstrating to you how to sell. I'm telling stories about the products that I have. I'm not telling you that you need to buy it. I'm not showing up and going, hey, this is a piece of art by me, please buy it. And I wanted to give you a demonstration with 3 different things to tell you why stories are so important. And it works with anything. So the next thing I want to talk to you about, so I could do, hey guys, this is my 21-day art journal. You can buy it on Amazon for £15. Hop over to Amazon now, Mandy Nicholson, under my author page, go and buy it. So I see so many people doing that. Don't do it. Don't do it. So I want to talk to you today and tell you a story. I've got a really, really interesting story to tell you about a journal. You wouldn't think there'd be a story with a journal, would you? So here is the very journal. It's called my 21-day art journal. It is available on Amazon, but I want to tell you the story of this journal. This journal has sat in my creative mastermind program for 2 years. It's been there as one of the activities on module 5, that by the time my clients get to module 5, they're ready to sort of reflect, to take a step back and reflect on what they've done in the first part of the course. So I had this journal sitting in there, and I said to them, it takes 90 days to achieve sustainable change in your business, in your life, in anything that you do. But the first 21 days are pivotal. For the next 21 days, I want you to focus on one thing, just one thing for 21 days and change it. So that was the activity. And actually, my clients were coming to me and saying, Mandy, that activity is so good. Focusing at this point on for 21 days on one thing in our business has really, really helped us. And I thought, well, you know what? Maybe I could extract that from the program and make it available more widely to more people to help them. So I did. So it looks like this inside. It's got lots of journaling pages with prompts and mandalas to color in and make notes on. It's a wonderful journal. I actually used it myself and colored it in for 21 days, and it helped me change one thing. So I've used my own product. I've filmed that. What it also did was made me realize how easy it was to create a journal on Amazon. And I then created a mini course called From Inspired Idea to Published Author that's also available on my website. This is available on Amazon. The course is available on my website, which teaches you how to create your own journal in a day or a couple of days using Canva. So when we do things and we take the things that are there, we can create anything from them. So I have just shared 3 of my products with you, and I've told you stories on each and every one of them, right? Not to get you to buy them today, to teach you today how important it is And I've done it. If I was talking about just one of these, I would be talking about it much longer and telling the stories much better and in much more depth, because that's what you want. You want to engage people in the story of what it is that you have created, because whatever you are creating in your business, whatever your business model is, be it a course, be it a product, be it a service, it might be you working one-to-one with somebody, and you've got to tell the story of why you decided to do business that way, what it is that brings the client the relief and benefits the potential client. You've got to tell a story about each and everything that you do. Then you are not selling, you are telling. Okay, so I wanted to bring that to you today. And the reason was, in Entrepreneursity on Monday, I was telling my story. I was telling my story to help other people to realize that it doesn't matter how many barriers they think they are, how bad life has treated them, how awful things seem, you can still find a way to make money and to create a business that you truly love, that aligns with your core values, that serves the beautiful dream clients that you want to work with, because I've done it. And that's why I tell the story, so that people can see that anything is possible. So I wanted to share not just, hey, this is what happened on Entrepreneursity. This is why I did Entrepreneursity, to reach out to more people, to tell my story. And that's resulted, again, that opportunity has resulted in another opportunity, and that opportunity is me going on to Fox TV. So at the end of September, I've not got my dates yet, end of September, beginning of October, I will be interviewed for a 5-minute segment on Fox TV in a segment called Women of Influence, with millions. The viewership of Fox TV Morning Breeze is in the millions. So that gets my story out to more people. How do you prepare for something like that? Yeah, on Monday, my presentation was 50 minutes and I had slides, and I talked people through the slides. I was talking about my story. I know my story very well because it's happened to me. I could do it blindfold without the slides, dead easy. But when you've got 5 minutes and you've got a message to get to people in 5 minutes on a massive TV channel that reaches out to millions and millions of viewership, how do you prepare for that? So let me tell you how I have prepared for that, because it's really important that you understand that nothing is too scary. Public speaking is the #1 fear in the UK. People are terrified of public speaking, even doing lives, which is public speaking. So here's a couple of tips I'm going to give you. If you're scared of doing lives because you're scared when people are watching you, here's a great tool. Whenever you're doing a live, get yourself a Post-it note and stick it on your screen over the number of people that are watching you, because that won't make any difference to people seeing you, because they're watching you through this little tiny camera here. Yeah, you can cover up the number of people watching with a Post-it note and just talk to yourself, because at the end of the day, if you think nobody's there and you're just chatting away about what you know and what you love, and if you're doing what you absolutely adore doing, it's dead easy to talk about, isn't it? So there's a top tip for you. So Fox TV, how do you make sure you get the best out of those 5 minutes? So there's a couple of reasons that 5 minutes on Fox TV is great, okay? Because it might only be 5 minutes. It might not be seen by loads of people. It will be seen by some people. But you know what it gives me? I get that clip and I can use that clip through my social media, my website, everywhere that I am, as a trust stamp to say I've been on Fox TV. So that's the first thing. It's a fantastic trust stamp. It gives people confidence that you are who you say you are. You are a professional. You've been on the telly. Okay, so going on the telly is probably the ultimate goal of most entrepreneurs out there, because it gives you so much credibility. It underlines your expertise, your area of genius. So the second thing, if you've only got 5 minutes, you've got to be really, really, really specific about what you want to say in those 5 minutes. So for that reason, because let me just be really honest about this. Fox TV is pay-per-view. So you pay to get on there. A lot of TV is pay-per-view. I have invested in that segment so that I can be seen on TV and use it as a trust stamp. The opportunity came about because I was connected to Michelle Stonehill. And, you know, you've got some point in your life, you've got to invest in some things that you think will leverage your business. Now, you don't always have to do that. Sometimes you can get on TV without, but to get on a program like this and be able to have control over the interview, it's normally pay-per-view. So that's me just being really honest with you. Secondly, because it's pay-per-view, I get to choose the questions. So I've chosen 3 really, really simple questions. Okay, I'm going to tell you the questions that I am going to be asked on Fox TV and tell you why I've chosen them. So firstly, the question number 1 is, so you are helping creative women to earn their worth. How? So isn't that a great question? I can then talk about how I am helping these amazing creative women to, first of all, value themselves and focus on their self-worth, and then charge their worth, and how I do that through my creative mastermind. So that's question number 1. Question number 2 is, how are you helping these women to create an online business? Really important to mention this, because without an online presence and an online brand and a social media strategy, nobody can really leverage and grow their businesses and scale them these days. You need that online presence. So I want to talk about how I do that with the clients that come to me, because a lot of them are artists and creatives and introverts. Yeah, this goes alongside many of the creatives that are out there. So they are not entirely comfortable in stepping into that spotlight initially, and they need a lot of help and a lot of coaching and a lot of hand holding. And I always say, I've got your hand and I've got your back, because I take you through that process so that you feel confident to get there. And I've got to answer that really succinctly on that interview. That's me to a T. Yeah, it's most of the creatives that I come across. And question 3 is really, really simple. Where can people find you if they want your help? So these are the 3 questions. How easy is that? Where can people find you? Well, people can find me on my website, mandynicholson.co.uk, and all of my social links are on there. They can also find me at theartbankdalbeatty.com and have a look at my amazing creative retreats. The station is going to share those 2 links. I don't need to send anybody anywhere else other than those 2 places. So it's really, that's the most important thing. So in a 5-minute interview, I have answered who I help and why, how I'm helping them to make more money, how I'm helping them to create an online business, and where they can find me. Those are the key things that you need to hit and tick off if you get any sort of speaking events. If you end up on a podcast, yeah, think about those 3 things. How are you helping people? Yeah. How are you helping them to create an online business? Or how are you helping them to change their homes? How are you helping them with their interior design? How are you helping them to learn to paint? How are you doing what you do? And then where can they find you? Because there's nothing worse than showing up and engaging people and talking to them and them being interested in what you're saying and not knowing where to find you. It's an absolute disaster. You don't need to hard sell. So in the comments in this live, there are 3 links. You can sign up for my next 5-day challenge, which starts on the 10th of October. You can listen to the first 2 chapters of my book, The Life I Won. And you can download my document, The Mind of a Creative, and find out more about yourself. So there are 3 links on this very live today where you can go and get some freebies. They're all free. So it's free 5-day challenge, free first 2 chapters of my book, free download The Mind of a Creative. And that gets people in my world and helps them to understand how well I understand them. So you'll listen to me telling stories. You'll listen to me telling you stories about the products, the Collode More, the 21-day journal, my book, and where it came from. And if you're interested enough to have stuck through the live and thought, oh my goodness, this woman has something good to say, then I've got some links for you to click. Okay. And you can go to my website, mandynicholson.co.uk. Go and have a neb. People are nosy. Here's the thing I'm going to say to you today. People are really, really nosy. Have you ever walked down the street, right? And you've passed people's houses. People have houses on the street front. And you can't help yourself but have a look in the window, can you? To see what the decor looks like. Or you hear somebody having an argument and you can't help. You've got to have a neb and you listen, or you might even stop and look like you're doing something to dawdle about to listen to what's going on. Or there's a car crash and you're on the motorway. You're not going to drive past it without craning your neck, are you, to have a look at it? People, we are humans. We are nosy. And we like to know who people are, why they've become the person they are, why they are selling the things they do, why they might be the person for us to work with or to buy from. If you're an artist, why would somebody want to buy your art? So if I show up and tell the story of Culloden Moor and how I've captured the heather, the rose bay willow herb, and the shrubs and thistles on Culloden Moor, I might be speaking to somebody who's really interested in the battle or the military side of Culloden Moor, and that might fit in nicely with their collection of military stuff. I might be speaking to someone who's been to Culloden Moor and felt the feels that you get when you're there and want to buy something from there. I might be speaking to someone who just loves the nature, the heather, the rose bay willow herb, and the thistles. Who knows who's watching? But when you show up and tell the story and you're not trying to go, look, this is my art, buy it, it makes all the difference to the audience you're speaking to. So I know this was about debriefing, but debriefing why I did Entrepreneurcity and why I'm doing Fox TV is all about teaching you why stories are so important to your brand, to your business, and to your profit. Do not underestimate, and go away and have a look at what you have and think about the stories that you can tell when you show up. It doesn't matter what it is. Even if you sell skincare, all right? I'm going to be honest. Hang on, because I can usually tell us. This is one of my skills, guys. I can tell a story about anything. I happen to have some skincare. And I'm going to tell the story about this, all right? I don't sell this. This is not my product, but I want to show you how easy it is, okay? So I had 2 bed and breakfast guests come and stay with me a few weeks ago. They were bikers. They turned up on their bikes. It was a couple, man and a woman, turned up on their great, fantastic big Honda motorbike and parked it in front of my house. I was dead chuffed because I used to be a biker. All right. In my youth, I used to be a biker and I used to paint bikes for all the other bikers. And the amount of bat out of hells I painted on bike tanks and helmets is like unknown. Anyway, this couple stayed and they'd chosen to stay with me because I'd got all 10 out of 10 reviews on booking.com for my bed and breakfast. All right. So they were like, why is this one 10 out of 10? Let's go and have a look, because we don't believe that anyone can be 10 out of 10. So they came and stayed with me. And they were just gorgeous people. They stayed in the Van Gogh room and I gave them breakfast the next morning. And then the guy said, I'm a chef. And I was like, oh my God, I've just given a chef a cooked breakfast that I've cooked. And he said that was the best breakfast I've ever had. And that made my day. And then the lady, I'm talking about skincare here, remember, actually works for Gordon Castle. And Gordon Castle have a botanical garden. And from their botanical garden, they have made loads of miniature skincare products for hotels and bed and breakfasts. And she gave me a bag of samples, which is this bag that happens to be sitting in my office that I'm now telling you a story about. So that I could use it in the bed and breakfast and see if I liked it before I bought. Guess what? By giving me this free sample and telling me the story, and I've gone and checked out the website, am I likely to buy this? Yes, I am. And they came and stayed at my bed and breakfast. They were lovely guests. And guess what? They gave me 10 out of 10. So in that story that I've just told you, I've told you about somebody else's product that I might buy, but I've also managed to tell you about my bed and breakfast and that I get 10 out of 10 on booking.com. I haven't asked you to buy it, but I've told you a story about it. So I really wanted to spend some time on this live today, really demonstrating just how important. I could literally pick up pretty much anything in my office and do a story about it now. We are natural storytellers as people. We just lose the confidence. You ever sit with your kids, those of you that have got kids, and just make up stories and tell them stories, or tell them stories about your grandparents or your parents and things that you did with them? We're natural storytellers. And what you need to get is comfortable being that natural storyteller live on video, but talking about the story of your thing that you've built a business around. And that is what's going to engage people. That is what's going to engage your people. So go away. I am excited to hear your stories. Go and think about the stories that you can tell with the products and services that you sell. How are you going to do it? And the more you do it, the more places you end up doing it. That's what Entrepreneurcity has come from, that place, because Michelle has been watching my journey to my mini castle. Obviously, I worked with her, but she's also been watching my success since I left her coaching program. She's kept an eye on me. I do that with all my clients. Keep an eye on them, see where they're going, see what they're doing, because you never know when you can help them because they are ready for leveraging their businesses. They're there telling their stories, and you might have an opportunity for them. And that's happened with a couple of them. So Lucy Sheffield, one of my amazing clients, go and check her out, now helps me and works for me as an ambassador in my 5-day challenges, which starts 10th of October, link in the comments. So she now comes and does 4 5-day challenges a year with me. Once you're connected to someone and you've worked with them at that level of premium coaching, where you've really, really helped them to get their head around their business and change their lives, there's an ongoing connection. And as you grow and you grow your business, you open doors for these people as well. So wherever you are right now, remember one of the things I said in my Entrepreneurcity presentation is wherever you are right now is okay. It's your entry point. It doesn't matter if you feel too small right now. I want you to remember that 2019 was when I launched my business on Boxing Day. But at the start of 2019, I didn't have a business. I didn't have a creative business. I didn't have a full idea of what that business model would look like, how I would sell it to the world, what I would do with it. I had no idea at the start of 2019. I have a great story about a hedgehog. I'm just reading Amanda's comments there. I told my kids, never thought of using that. Yes, use it. Use those stories. I use stories about my kids, about my life, everything. Use those stories. This is what people want to know. What you don't think is interesting. You might not think a story of a hedgehog is interesting, but it'll be fascinating to people who don't know that story. Completely fascinating. So tell it. Use it, weave it through your social media, tell stories, show up and talk to people with a cup of coffee like you're in the living room. Forget about the numbers of people watching you. Forget about the fact that, you might feel daunted by hundreds of people watching you. Worry about that after the live. I never answer comments while I'm on a live. I never even look at them. I always go back afterwards. So go away and enjoy telling your stories, folks. I look forward to hearing them. And I hope that's helped you a little bit today to get a handle on how, as a creative, you can pick up your creative product and sell it without selling, because you're going to tell. You're going to tell stories. And I can't wait to hear them. So have a fabulous weekend. I will see you all back at my normal time of 7 p.m. on Tuesday evening and 11 a.m. Tuesday morning in my group. So you'll find me in my normal places next week. It was just one of them things yesterday where I had a really long day after having my presentation on Monday. And sometimes you got to change stuff up a bit. So see you all next week. Have an awesome weekend. Mandy Nicholson signing off.